Put your.
Posting.
Oh, hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome. Facebook Live.
Yeah.
We are at the District of Comedy Festival. This is the Daily Show Correspondents show at the Kennedy Center. Super excited to be here. I'm Ronny Chieng.
I'm Roy Wood Jr.
I'm Gina Yashere.
And together we are a yellow Oreo. And we're here to answer your questions on Facebook. Something that's never been done before on Facebook, as I'm told.
Now, Ronnie, is this your first time in Washington, D.C.? Because you're from China?
From lots
Australia,
of places. Yes. It's actually
China,
not
Australia.
It's actually not my first time in Washington, D.C. I came here when I was a kid, 4 years old. My parents came to America for college, and they made a road trip all the way up to the White House. We stood outside, we got a photo. Looks very fresh off the boat. It's awesome. And then I came here last year to do a show at a rival art center. So let's not talk about that. And it went really well. Thank you, Arlington Draft House, for having me. But we're at the Kennedy Center now. And we're very happy to be here. Is this your first time in DC?
Yeah, I've never been to DC. So about 15 minutes ago, I was taking selfies by the big concrete pillars, i.e. the monument thing.
Yes.
Can you go inside the monument?
Yeah, I heard you can.
They wouldn't let us in.
I read in a Dan Brown book that you can go to the top.
I saw Spider-Man go up it in the movie, but
Okay,
yeah.
so Gina, of the three of us, since you're the only one that's been walking around D.C. today, have you seen Sean Spicer at all?
not at all.
Walking around.
He's hiding. He's hiding.
He can come out
He's
now.
in the monument. He's buried himself in the base of the monument. He's like, this is where I belong now.
I feel
Let me
like
just die. I've done
like
everything.
now it's the time when he can come out, right?
Oh my God, what
After
a
he
week, man. What a week. To be fired and then immediately get repled by Sarah
I
Huckabee.
thought he was replaced before he was fired.
I thought he resigned.
Come on, that's what everybody does before they get fired. You go, well, I ain't go, well, I quit, damn it. That's what everybody does.
Right. Yeah, we're going to be answering your questions on Facebook. We all know that the internet is a very nice and friendly place, so we're looking forward to your awesome questions.
All right, so let's start with Annabelle. Annabelle just hit us up. How did you get your start in comedy? Who wants to go first? I know that's a long, drawn-out question.
Oh, my God.
Give him the short answer.
Short answer. I used to be an engineer. I used to repair elevators for a living.
Get out of
that
here.
That was my previous job. That's what I did. I studied electronics. I got a degree in electronic engineering. I had a proper job, people. People always told me I was funny. I thought I'd give it a go. I left engineering. I never went back. Long story short.
You weren't scared? Like, were you like when you fixing an elevator, you like on top of it like
On
an
top
action
of it.
hero in the
Yeah.
middle of a shaft,
I'd
like
watch
30
movies
stories?
like Speed, and I go, oh, technically that was correct because the safety gear came in at 30. Yeah. I'd watch movies like that, and I go, that was good. And then I'd watch other movies and go, that technically is not correct because the safety gear will kick in, and that wouldn't happen.
Right.
The lift would not plop. Yeah.
I always wonder about it. Is it true that if there's like hidden codes in the elevator where if you press the close button and the floor you're trying to go to at the same time, it turns into express mode?
No, there's a key for that.
Yeah, but can you activate express mode? No, all right. All right. Well, it's good to end that urban myth. I've been wondering about that for 10 years now.
I was a journalism student in college. Shout out Florida A&M. You will get your tuition money eventually. Part of journalism is that you have to take a public speaking class. So my sophomore year, I take a public speaking class, and for a month, you did impromptu speeches in front of the class, and that was essentially open mic because I just kept getting laughs, and I was like, this feels like comedy. Maybe I should go to an actual comedy club, and that's kind of where my journey
So you
started.
never
That's the
became a
short answer.
journalist?
I mean, what do you call the Daily Show? I mean, I don't know. Is it journalism? Is it not? Is it comedy first? But we have to get facts correct. So
That's true.
it's kind of journalish-ish. It's journalish.
And this is Florida, as in the state of Florida, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Florida's in the state. But how'd you get started in comedy, Ronny?
I was at law school in Australia at the University of Melbourne, and I thought it was something I could try out, so I joined the university campus comedy competition, and I won that shit first time up. And then I thought it was awesome, and then went to do gigs in public, in the real world, and I found out I wasn't that awesome, and then kept doing it, and it's like a drug. Once you get it the first few times, and then it becomes a drug. It becomes, you keep on wanting to jump on, and it's this weird compulsion to jump on stage and tell jokes and make people laugh. And
So
Comedy was a gateway drug for me though,
Yes.
because I was doing the comedy and still checking the job pages every Thursday. For the first 5 years I was doing comedy, I had to check the engineering page on the back of the Evening Standard for 5 years because I did not believe it was going to be a career. But that was 20 years ago.
I still don't believe it's supposed to be a career.
I still keep money in a mattress just in case. All right, Ben wants to know, what is the audition process like for getting on The Daily Show, and how did your auditions go?
No idea.
Audition went great, Ben. We got the job.
You got a job, that's all you need to know, okay?
Audition
I never
was effing great.
auditioned.
We don't question it, why do you?
I never auditioned. I got a text. I'm not even joking.
Love what you do.
I'm not even
Come
joking.
do it over
I
here.
swear to God this happened. You can ask Trevor yourself. I get a text right. So obviously I know Trevor. I've met him a few times doing shows over the last sort of 5-6 years. And first time I met him, it was Gabriel Glazier's Stand Up Revolution, Comedy Central.
Yeah, Stand Up Revolution.
Yeah, Revolution. So I was flown to Florida to do this show. I'd never heard of Trevor, never seen him before. And I saw him and I was like, oh, who is this kid? He's hilarious. And then I went up to him afterwards and said, oh, that was really funny, you're great. And then I went home and Googled him and I was like, holy fuck, this guy's a superstar. But I didn't know because I hadn't been to South Africa in 15 years and he'd become a star.
That's what a lot of
But I
Americans
thought all black people know each other.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I didn't know them well. Yeah, I didn't know half of them. But yeah, we'd see each other over the years. The following years, I see him at shows and stuff. And then one day, and then he moved to New York, and then he got the Daily Show. And I was like, oh, cool, we'd chat when we'd see each other at the Comedy Cellar. Then one day I got a text, and it was like, hey, Gina, you in New York? And I was like, yeah, who this? And it was like, Trevor. And I was like, I'm from England, I know about 17 Trevors. Which Trevor? And he was like, Trevor Noah. I was like, oh, yeah, shit, yeah, I am in New York. How's it going, Trevor? And he's like, I'd like you to come on and do some work on The Daily Show. And I was like, fuck yeah. And that's how I got the gig. Probably why I've only been on the show twice.
Ain't nobody text my ass. I had to get an audition. Basically, the way the audition process works, Ben, is they send you a script of something that the writers have prepared for you, and you put that audition on tape, and then you also write your own script, like a desk chat or one of the things that we do in studio or whatever, like some back and forth with Trevor. You write one and you perform one that they wrote. You put it on tape, you email it in. If they like it, they call you in, you do the same thing live.
And then you pray to whoever God you believe in.
Yeah, it's. I think.
In my case, Scientology.
You tell me what you think, Ronnie.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, I believe that they have you perform one that the writers wrote to make sure that you can bring their material to life.
Yeah, so it's hard to explain, but you need to get on the radar by doing something outstanding in whatever field it is, whether it's stand-up or writing, somehow get on the radar, get a shot. Once you get a shot, as Roy described it, the audition process itself is make your own thing, do one of our things, and then come in the studio and do it live in front of Trevor. And that's what happened to me as well. And
But not me.
or you can just get a text one day from Trevor who's like, hey, come be on the show, and then that's it. So why even bother with a career when you can just...
Yeah, but obviously I was good at what I was doing.
Just network really is really how you get on the Daily Show. Just keep networking.
You just saw me being
slide
awesome.
into the DMs and just say, hey, can I get on the Daily Show? And then one day you get a message from Trevor and you go, which Trevor? And then next thing you know, you're a billionaire.
Like, honestly though, like you two are, I think, a perfect example of structurally what I think Trevor wanted to turn the Daily Show into from Jon Stewart, which was something that had a little bit more global perspective, because you two are from two totally different continents from me and two totally different continents from Trevor. So if you really look at the lineup of correspondents and contributors that we have on the show, they're kind of covering the whole map.
We got the globe covered. We need someone from the moon. That's what we need. Because we got this planet on lock.
All right, so...
Is that offensive? I'm sorry.
That segues...
We're on Facebook.
Oh, nothing's off. Let's go next question. Stop trying to ask for jobs, all right? Ask some real questions here.
That's fair.
Okay, I'll let Murad, which I love your skincare products, by the way. Murad asks, Ronnie, how did you manage to get an audition while working in Australia? Again, how do you get auditions? Well, I'll answer this quick so we can go on to other questions. You just have to be really, really good at what you do.
So the other Australian comics are shit is basically what he said.
No, I got very lucky. I got very lucky that Trevor, I gigged with Trevor in Montreal one year, and we got to know each other then, but we didn't exchange numbers or anything. I wasn't on a first name basis with him, but that's how he knew of me, and 2 years later he asked me to audition. I just got lucky. I was lucky that I happened to be from Australia. I happened to do a gig, and I happened to be at the right level at the right time. You know, a lot of this is timing. I don't know how else to. I can't plan your life for you, man. Figure it out, okay? I can't.
So let's talk about the field packages, because Annabelle wants to know how the field packages come
Annabelle,
together.
killing me with the questions.
Yeah.
Annabelle asks, can you talk about how the field packages come together?
No, I've never done one.
That's
Seems
interesting.
like that would be your lane. Like you would love to be in the room boxing it out verbally with somebody that's talking crazy.
Yeah, but I come in to do the British and European perspective. It's all very desky right now.
Yeah. Until it's time to send you to Europe to cover some more of that Brexit nonsense that's going on. The field piece it's hard to explain. Like it's basically, you may see a story. We have a lot of researchers at the show. We have a lot of segment producers. They'll go, hey, did you hear about this guy with the thing and the BS? And you'll look at it, you'll meet with your field producer and you'll go, hey, we should go talk to this guy about the thing and the BS and see what the hell he's talking about. And you take that story to Trevor and the EPs and you go, hey, there's a story we want to do about this guy, the thing and the BS. And then they go, yes, go cover that story. And the biggest question I think people ask us about the field pieces is, do the people that we're interviewing know that they're being made fun of? And to me, I don't feel like we're making fun of these people. We're simply asking you your point of view and you're stating it. And it's a conversation, and whether or not you look crazy is that's in the eyes of the viewer, but that's not our goal. Our goal is just to get both sides of the story.
Yeah, that was the Cosby Guide to Field. We got the thing and the bullshit, and then we got the Jello and the.
Yeah, and I'm scared to drink this water.
Yeah, so that's how field pieces come together. It comes from a weird story that happens, and then we manage to get people to speak to us, and then we go speak to them, and then we spend weeks kind of fixing in the edit, and then throw it on the air and cross our fingers. Do you want to read this one, or do you want me?
Is there a Daily Show? This is from Greg. What's up, Greg?
What's up, Greg? Shout out, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Is there a Daily Show episode or segment you worked on that you're most proud of? Oh.
Well,
Out of the two that I've done, they were both great. I'm proud of both of them.
I think I've been pretty lucky in the sense that, well, first of all, I'm on the Daily Show, and then second of all the pieces I've done on the show, I feel I've been pretty happy with. So I can't really, if you ask me to pick one, it's tough. My first, all of them were kind of special to me. My first one, I talked about VR. That was obviously special because it was my very first time on the show. There's a piece I did about voting machines, which was my first field piece.
You had to hump.
Yeah, I humped a voting machine. I'll Google that. There was one where I talked about, there was this guy who made fun of Asian people, and I got to make fun of him. That was a lot of fun. So I don't know, I've been pretty lucky with all my segments.
I love that one where you went to Chinatown.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Was
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
I'd say the piece that I don't know if it's most proud of, but the one that's probably been the most effective to some degree wasn't one of like the more popular ones, but basically the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is doing a bunch of stupid stuff that's going to flood a bunch of homes unnecessarily on the Mississippi River. We went to cover this story and go, hey, why are you doing shit that's going to cause a bunch of flooding unnecessarily? And before President Obama left office, one of the final things he did was sign off on legislation that shut down that project. So that was like one of those, yeah, what we do, yeah.
So you
Change the world.
You changed the world, made it a better place.
Even though Obama might have already had that
in motion already, but we'll take credit. We'll always take credit.
Take credit. And I met Ron Jeremy. That was
not in the same piece. You said Mississippi and
no, that was the racism in porn.
Oh, racism in porn.
Yeah, and I met Ron Jeremy. We talked to Ron Jeremy.
You filmed a scene with him. Yeah, it was great.
Not
I remember
a
that.
scene. It was a sketch. Don't say scene. Because when you say scene, it suggests that there was some banging going on. There was no banging.
And there wasn't?
It was simulated.
Not even a...
It was simulated.
That's a real good question.
Yeah.
Whether
Ron
sex
Jeremy
in that scene.
Interesting dude. Ron Jeremy on the set, because we shot that piece in an actual house where they shoot porn. And there was porn occurring. No, I did not. I was leaning. Anywhere I was in that damn porn. Because like in Los Angeles, a lot of pornography is filmed in like these huge 7-bedroom houses that are soundproofed so that they could shoot in each soundproof room. So they're shooting a bunch of different movies concurrently.
Can you give me the exact address of that house?
I literally have the email from the call sheet from that day. So I'm sure I could go back. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like a bunch of porn stars in the house. We're shooting our segments out in the pool house, and Ron Jeremy just walks in. Like, it's like this bizarro Leo DiCaprio.
He walks in naked.
He had a shirt on. But he was definitely, yeah.
So Google that piece, Roman Jr. racist porn.
I want to see that now.
Yeah.
I can see that one.
Gina, you want to take this one?
What will I want to... Timothy asks, is it hard to continue making politically themed sketches and jokes in a time when almost every comedian is taking advantage of political jokes? Yeah, that's a difficult one. I mean, I consider myself political just by virtue of who I am, which helps. Being black, female, gay, from England, living in America.
Wait, you're black?
I'm black. I know the accent just makes you it just puts a film of white privilege around me.
A gay black female immigrant.
Exactly. So
Damn, homie.
Damn.
just by virtue of who I am, anything I say is political. It doesn't matter. Anything I say is going to be political.
That's a good point.
So for me, it's a little bit easier in that I do a lot of stuff as an outsider looking in on American culture and politics. Yeah, my perspective is coming. So because I'm coming from a totally different angle, I find it a lot easier to not cross paths with all the other comedians that are doing Trump jokes or whatever jokes. Because I find, it's getting to the point where Trump jokes are starting to be hacky, which is, it shouldn't be, but because he's doing so much shit every day that it's becoming almost boring. It's like, oh God, what has he done today? What has he not done? I think it would be news if there was a day that went by that Trump didn't tweet. That I think would be the biggest news.
Remember when he behaved for like 1 week and they called him
Everybody
presidential?
went crazy. Oh my God, he's all presidential. No, he just didn't speak that day.
Yeah, he just did a couple normal ass things.
Yeah.
I think that, because I'd say right now at last count, well, I don't know. I know there's at least like 8 or 9 political satire shows, the shows that kind of have an overlap with what The Daily Show does. And I think that's something cool that Trevor does, because I think Trevor brings an outsider's perspective. So there's definitely an approach to a lot of the material that I think a lot of the other shows don't have, which I think is cool. I think that makes what The Daily Show do a lot different. So even if it is the same, all right, Trump did this, and here come all the shows with their jokes about that thing. I always feel like our joke is going to exist over here. And the cool thing is that we still have people at work that watch all of the other late night shows. So you start getting a feel for which way certain people are gonna go with the topic, or which emotion they're gonna carry into that particular bit. And for as long as you're not matching that emotion, then more often than not, you're not gonna have similar material.
Yeah, just quickly on that. I mean, the fact that there's 8 shows doing political comedy and there's very little overlap.
12.
Yeah, 12. I mean, the amount of people, producing political satire shows in America, there's very little overlap considering all the stuff that people are making. It just goes to show the unlimited potential of comedy, that you can always have original thought and stuff, and just because everyone has talked about something, you shouldn't give up on that premise. You can still make fun of it. That being said, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at Bill Maher's approach into material versus Sam B, it's not the same.
No.
They both might be talking about the same issue. And if you add Seth Meyers to that same conversation, it's not the same perspective, because if you just of those 3, Seth Meyers tends to have a bit of a smile, tends to have a bit of a more lightheartedness. He might have some bite to the joke, but it's totally just in performance, it's different. So when you do that, it automatically changes the type of joke. But I just think as a viewer, you hear Trump, you hear everybody say Trump, you go, oh, they all doing the same thing. I don't think they are.
And also with stand-up, it takes a couple months to write a new joke about something. So there's rarely that immediacy that shows like The Daily Show we can bring to it. And that's what I found, because I thought I'd be sick of it too, but we're actually responding to the news of the day, which actually kind of keeps it relatively fresh, I think, because we're responding to something that happened that very day, and then we kind of move on from it. So yes and no, a little bit of both, but a good question, Greg. Already last question? Oh, wow. That flew by.
Yeah.
We answered like 4 questions and 2 of them were about how do we get jobs on the Daily Show? What a waste of...
I said we go rogue.
This is the waste of the internet, man.
Stay on here as long as
Also, they're only showing us the good questions, so we are not seeing any hate here. How are we doing on the thing? Lots of hearts or?
No hate.
No,
love.
lots of hearts. Any angry
Yeah.
faces?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Cool, great.
All right.
Good
I'll
job,
take
internet.
that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Supposedly the last question. Kristen asks, what other projects are all of you working on outside of the Daily Show? I don't know what you're talking about, Kristen. Daily Show is my life, my sole focus. I mean, I just got married. I don't even care about that. The Daily Show, then wife, God, country, and then Cheetos. I don't know.
It's hard to do a lot of different stuff. I mean, I was blessed with the opportunity to host This Is Not Happening on Comedy Central, premiering October 12th.
Promote the same network.
Nice.
Yeah, so I hosted, it's basically a stand-up storytelling show.
Yeah.
So I did that. But other than that, it's sometimes 13-hour days, so it's not a lot of time to do anything other than maybe slip out and
Don't say that you're also
do a couple
pushing
sets.
a stand-up comedy touring career. So
Well,
there's
yeah,
that,
you still go on the road.
didn't even mention that,
So
yeah.
I go out, and that's why we're here in DC tonight, to tell some jokes. So yeah, it's not a lot of time to do a lot of other stuff.
Gina, you got stuff coming up?
I'm working on a scripted comedy right now with a production company, but that is way in the future. I don't know when that's going to get made. And then plus I'm always touring.
Yeah.
I'm always touring.
These
I'm all
days,
over the world. That's
stand
what
up.
I do.
Come on, we gotta do Scott's question.
Oh, cool. Oh, I got a TV show coming out soon. Ronny Chieng, international student, is already out in Australia. It's coming out on Comedy Central. I'll find out when soon.
So
excellent.
man, that show is hilarious.
Oh, thanks a lot. So tune in.
Keep it real.
Can I use a VPN hider to watch it?
Yes, you can. Use VPN to hide. Please do not. This is karma. Do not torrent it. I know I deserve it after my life of piracy, but help me get some hits on it by VPNing it into Australia. Or just watch on Comedy Central in the US when it comes out. It's about Asian international students studying in Australian universities. So it's going to be very relatable to Americans.
All right, Scott asked, I like this question. And this will be the last question. Did you ever have someone you were interviewing get angry at you? Even in room or after the fact? I know we've had a couple of after the fact anger incidents.
Yes, but I'm very disarming in person, so it's very hard to get angry at me. It's very hard to get angry with me in the room. But I interviewed Richard Spencer, and he didn't get angry at me. I interviewed Nazis. Yeah. I say like that's a very low bar.
But Spencer's
He's not,
style,
yeah.
his style of hate is very, yes, you should leave the country. It's not, get out of here, boy.
true.
Like, it's not.
I did a piece with Trump's economic advisor, and I kind of grilled him a bit on Trump, but he got a little bit unhappy about it. But and I'll let you. I don't know if you agree with this, but end of the day, it's like we are doing the Daily Show on Comedy Central. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? We're gonna make jokes and we're gonna make fun. Like, we're not. This isn't. Do I look like Anderson Cooper? Like, we're not doing an expose here. We're here to make some jokes. So, and they inherently understand that. And I could tell he was just playing the game. He like go Google it. I think this was my piece on Trump's Trump is good for the economy. And I interviewed this guy. He became Trump's economic advisor in the White House. But I wouldn't say he got furious at me. So I don't know if
I did a piece, I can't say who, because I don't want to open up a can of shit, but I got furious with this guy in the room. And it was one of the earlier pieces that I did. And what I learned as a correspondent is that you can't be angry. You can never be the one that's angry. You just let this person present the facts. And then through calculated, normal conversation, you can make your points. There's no need to get emotional about it. But I was starting to get a little emotional about it. Yeah. And I had to like step out the room. I was like, yeah, I just need to use the restroom. I'm like in the hallway just fuming because it's like, how could someone believe, how could you believe this? How could you feel this way? How are these people real? Because I'm meeting a lot of people that look like folks I walk by in the airport, who I walk by in the mall. So it's like, now I don't trust regular people anymore because I'm like, oh my God, it's straight red pill matrix type stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's
overwhelming.
Yeah, it's part poker game, part cross-examination, part stand-up comedy. part improv. You really gotta kind of not take stuff personally. I can't think of anyone who was. Yeah, I didn't get anyone angry. I've never gotten anyone angry.
I know Klepper. Klepper used to have stories of when he would go to Trump rallies, how people would just yell stuff at him as he's walking around with the camera crew.
Yeah.
And like call him fake news and throw ice cubes.
But to answer the question, Scott, usually when they agree to be interviewed by you, it's unusual for them to get that grumpy about it. They're kind of already committed, So, I haven't seen it yet. But then again, I'm new to this game, so still a few more chances for me to piss people off.
All right. Well, we did it.
We did it.
It's a Facebook
We
Live.
solved the internet.
Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. We're here for District of Comedy Festival.
Yep.
Brought to you by
Capital One.
Capital 2. Capital 2 Finance.
Shout out District of Comedy Festival for having us. Shout out Washington, D.C., not the state, the district, what's it called? The District of Columbia.
I feel bad because I'm the only American-born person at this table. I was just like,
Shout out Kennedy Center. It's a very beautiful venue. Thanks for having us. Shout out JFK. Shout out
all right, that's
Donald Trump. Shout out Sean Spicer.
Is this the BET
Shout out.
Awards? What the fuck's
I want to
happening?
shout out
Ronny Chieng,
I love you,
Gina
thank
Yashere, Roy Wood Jr. Good night.
Peace.
You'll be at the casino when the deal again.